Hello everyone, I am Dr. Nalini Bansal and today we will discuss a case of tubulovillous adenoma. We know when we talk of colonic polyps, they are called as adenomas when you see dysplastic changes within the polyps that you are seeing. We call them as tubulovillous polyps when each component, that is a tubular and the villous component, each of them is going to constitute more than 25% of the polyp. So a polyp that is showing you a villous pattern in over 25% of the area, and also a polyp that is showing you presence of tubular glands in over 25% of the area. These are the polyps that we are going to call as a tubulovillous polyp. This tubulovillous adenomas, and if you can see here that for this polyp, this polyp is showing you the presence of these villiform patterns. So there are several villi on the surface, and then in addition to these villi which are being present on the surface, we are also seeing the presence of these small tubular glands. So there are these small glands which are constituting the part of the polyp, and then in the other areas we have this pattern, that is the villiform pattern on the surface. So it is not just the villiform pattern, there are also presence of adenomatous glands, that is dysplastic gland, but they are having a round architecture, that is a tubular architecture. So for polyps like this which show a pattern which is villiform, like as for this case it is villiform, it is showing you villous pattern, and this pattern is constituting more than 25% of the polyp, then we call them as a tubulovillous adenomas. Now we will be seeing what are the changes of the adenoma subsequently, and for this area, like in those areas the villiform pattern was more prominent. Now if we look at this area, so this area is showing you that these are the villiform pattern, and then there are many tubular glands which are composing which are present underneath. So there are also numerous villiform structures which are present on the surface, and in addition there are also presence of multiple of these tubular glands which are constituting the polyp. This is what we are looking for when we are discussing a case of tubulovillous adenoma. And these adenomas, in addition to the pattern, that is the tubular and villous pattern, these adenomas are also going to show you some degrees of dysplasia. This dysplasia can be low grade or it can be a high grade dysplasia. So, what is the difference between a low grade and a high grade dysplasia? So now these are the glands which are showing the dysplastic changes. So if we look here, these glands and these glands, so there is a difference between the two glands which are being seen here. Now this gland is showing you the presence of multiple mucin vacuoles. So there are multiple of these mucin vacuoles which are present over the epithelium. The nuclei are all basally aligned. We do not see any elongation of the nuclei, and most of the nuclei are sitting and resting on the basement membrane. And then over the nuclei we have got these multiple enlarged vacuoles of mucin. Now when these glands will undergo an adenomatous change, and that is of a low grade type, then what will happen is these nuclei which are basally aligned and which are just sitting at the basement membrane, they are going to elongate and they will expand further. They will become more elongated, they are going to occupy more of the cytoplasm, and then these elongated nuclei will also come one over the other. So there will be nuclear stratification, that is the nuclei are coming one over the other, and then second feature is the nuclei are also becoming elongated. So instead of just sitting on the basement membrane, they are now more elongated. And then the mucin vacuoles that we are seeing for the normal glands, which are large vacuoles, now there will be a depletion of mucin. So what is mucin depletion? That means the mucin vacuoles which are present in the normal colonic glands, those mucin vacuoles will be lost. So that those areas are called as mucin depletion. So if you see areas of mucin depletion, elongation of the nuclei, nuclear stratification, like we see here that the nuclei are not could not be made separately one from the other, as many of the nuclei are also showing you overlapping. So as opposed to this gland, these glands are showing you features of low grade dysplasia. So, how will you confirm the presence of these mucin depletion, so that we will see subsequently? This is again a high par which is showing you that there are presence of these large mucin vacuoles, and as opposed to the gland on the left hand side, we could see that the mucin vacuole is lost here, and this is what is being called as mucin depletion. We see that the nuclei are elongated, they are one over the other, that is they are overlapping each other, and this kind of a pattern is called as low grade dysplasia. If there are changes of high grade dysplasia, then these nuclei, instead of perpendicular to the basement membrane, they will become parallel to the basement membrane. So this is called loss of polarity. So if the nuclei still retain their polarity, their relationship with the basement membrane, then it is called as low grade dysplasia. Whereas if the nuclei are going to forget the relation with the basement membrane, and then they're going to come and lie parallel to the basement membrane or in any other distinct forms, then this is called as loss of polarity, and loss of polarity is a very classical feature for high grade dysplasia. Then apart from this, so we could see that there is some scattered mitosis, there is a single mitosis here. And in high grade dysplasias you will see frequent mitosis, so not just one or two, the mitosis will become frequent. The nucleus, instead of being elongated, it will enlarge, it will be more vesicular, and there will be prominent nucleoli. So those are the changes that we will see for the low grade and high grade dysplasias. So this again is a PS stain that is showing you the presence of this pass positive mucin vacuoles within these glands, and here in the glands which are dysplastic, they are showing you loss of mucin, and many of the vacuoles are lost. So in this, which is even more dysplastic, and here you could see that the mucin vacuoles are completely lost. So that is what we are going to look for in a case of tubulovillous adenoma. So each component is going to compose more than 25% of the part of the polyp. And apart from the architecture, we are going to look at the changes within the gland, whether they are showing you any low grade or high grade dysplasia. So presence of dysplasias is must for calling them as an adenoma. So that was a case of tubulovillous adenoma. Thank you so much. Thank you for your patient hearing.